Kevin Harris's combine, what does it mean? The third-year back out of South Carolina had actually a very nice combine on a number of levels, and he's not getting talked about very much. He burst onto the scene as a true sophomore for South Carolina as they've been rebuilding over there in Columbia. But after a couple of injuries in the COVID-shortened season, in 10 games, he put up 1,300 total yards and 16 touchdowns for the Gamecocks, and then went back as a junior and, certainly had some more problems, shared the load a little bit more with the backfield there, and his production took quite a step back. But now he did leave early, so he's an early declare for the NFL. Weighed in at 5'10", 221 pounds. So nice feature back size at 221. And here's the thing. He didn't run a 40, which is probably why he's kind of being forgotten and not talked about so much, because everyone loves a good 40 time. And while that may lead us to assume he probably didn't expect to get under a 4.6, and therefore he didn't run it, maybe he's going to test a train a little bit more or run a little bit more favorably at a pro day. But what he did do is show his burst and explosion by doing a 38.5-inch vertical jump, which is extremely impressive, especially for a guy at 221 pounds. And a broad jump of 126 inches, which again is over the average for NFL running backs, and certainly showing some very above average explosion. And then, of course, again, he's doing this at 221 pounds. His college production was really, really good as a sophomore. Caught 21 passes in 10 games. You love to see that. A 220-pound guy who can catch passes. He's showing explosion. He was very efficient at 6 yards per carry in that season. Everything came back down to earth as a junior. But, the whole offense did take a step back. They were struggling to find a quarterback most of the year. Full rebuild mode for South Carolina. The production was pretty ugly there. But let's just compare Kevin Harris to Isaiah Spiller, who is the consensus top 3 running back. There's definitely people that have him as running back 1, I think. And Kevin Harris, 5 pounds heavier, 3 inches shorter, and 5 pounds heavier. So much more dense of a player. Bigger hands, longer arms, and a bigger wingspan than Isaiah Spiller. So he's overall just a bigger player, even though he's short. His wingspan is longer, even though he's shorter in height. He also had 8 more inches on his vertical jump and a longer broad jump than Isaiah Spiller by about a foot. A foot. It's a huge deal. Everyone wants to say that Isaiah Spiller's burst is so good, and his long speed isn't great, but maybe it's game speed. Maybe he's just a really, really advanced processor, and so he can make up for some, I'm talking about Isaiah Spiller, make up for some lack of athleticism with just this insane level of processing and anticipation. That might be the case. But Kevin Harris, who I think a lot of people think of as a bit of a slug, showed he's not a slug. The guy's got burst. The guy's got explosiveness. And I think when you're looking at these two players, you really need to ask yourself, why is Isaiah Spiller so much higher thought of than Kevin Harris? You might want to say, well, it's the college production, of course. And, that is fair. Let me pull up Spiller's numbers really quickly here, because in the one season that Kevin Harris had is actually as good as any season that Isaiah Spiller had. Isaiah Spiller's best season was 1,229 total yards, 5.9 yards per touch, and 9 touchdowns. Kevin Harris's best season as a sophomore was more yards, 1,297, better yards per touch, 6.3, and almost double the touchdowns at 16 touchdowns. Yes, he did take a step back as a junior. And yes, he didn't do it for 3 years the way that Spiller did have 3 years over 1,000 yards. So the production profiles are not the same. But when you look at their peak, Harris's peak is better than Spiller's peak. He's testing better. He catches passes. I think this is a value in your rookie drafts to take a look at Kevin Harris. He showed explosion at a bigger size. He's a bigger player, longer arms, which, I mean, longer arms, whatever. But, he's a big guy. He's just a little bit short, but he's thick. He can catch passes, and he has shown efficiency at the college level in the SEC, mind you. In the SEC. We're not talking about FCS guy or G5 guy. We're talking about in the SEC. Kevin Harris's sophomore year is better than any season Isaiah Spiller ever put down in his college career. Don't forget about Kevin Harris, folks. I think he was a big winner from the combine in my book, confirming he's got explosion, confirming he's a big back that certainly can, I think, help some NFL backfields. Stick with us here at Campus to Canton. We're going to keep putting out these little short reactions of the combine combine results. And go check us out, campustocanton.com. Hit the like and subscribe button on this video as well, so you can be sure and see all the other ones as